We're gonna go hard, we're gonna go heavy, and we're gonna turn some heads and serve some notice for sure.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with another sneak peek of Brendan Curry's legs, as he has been a lot more focused this time on his quads, and not just bring them up in terms of size, but bring out more detail and separation. And we have to keep in mind, this is the man who has the best stats in this upcoming Arnold lineup, as he is a former 2-time Arnold champion and a former Miss Olympia. So this update is from one of his recent YouTube videos, which is about 4 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold. And I must say his legs are looking quite impressive. And the way Brendan showed up at this past Miss Olympia, he was way more impressive than what most of people were expecting from him. And the reason for that was because he did a very short prep compared to the past years. And his off-season last year was far from ideal. Now he did got a pretty bad placing for a guy who never was outside of that top 4 for almost 7 years. But the overall size of Brendan Curry looked awesome last year. So in most of the predictions, the highest Brendan Curry is placing for this upcoming Arnold is either 4th or 5th. And that isn't exactly disrespect towards him, considering the fact that he placed 9th at the Olympia last year. And it is just the nature of competition that is going up against at this upcoming Arnold. In fact, many people out there do not even see him in the top 6. And now that Brendan is working with a new coach, and their aim this time, that is to bring more conditioning and more detail over everything else, this might be a totally different look compared to what we are used to seeing from him, especially since 2021. Now you can see how bubbly and round Brendan's upper half is looking, even through the shirt. And we all know, he has such an aesthetic shape, such round muscle bellies. So in terms of the shape and the flow, he's gonna be very combative against all of the top guys, especially in the upper half, both from the front and from the back. Now can he bring that extra detail that has always been missing from him, especially in that lower half? So I believe they are definitely gonna make a calculated decision on how shredded and ripped Brendan can get without him losing his wow factor, without him losing the size on his quads. So the Arnold 2019, that was probably the best combination of everything from Brendan, where he was as shredded as William Bonac. But at the same time, he was very full, very round, and very bubbly. Guys, Mr. Olympia Signature Series is now live on hostel.com. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% discount and click the arrow below to check out all the hostel products. So we are still waiting for a response from Martin-Fitzwater after Nick Walker's recent statements about Martin, but the man is keeping his head down and he is stacking up some awesome training sessions with his partner Brett Wilkin. So here we have the most recent physique update from Brett Wilkin as well. Now Brett, we all know, isn't looking to compete anytime soon, and this is him at 275 pounds, which is a very high body weight for Brett Wilkin. But it blows away your mind how neat and how lean Brett has been looking throughout this push phase. So just a week back, he posted a physique update in which he looked like he's about to compete in a few weeks' time, which is kind of insane. Now Brett has an Olympia debut to make in 2025, and he has to figure out this new formula on how to get insanely shredded, as he always did with Matt Jensen, his former coach, but also not to sacrifice all that size and all that fullness during those final few weeks leading into the show, because this is exactly what we saw from him for his last show, which was the Legion Sports last year, where although he did lose some size, but still he was able to beat a guy like Bruno Santos. Now Brett has been heavier than this before. In 2023, when he was really pushing super hard in the off-season, he looked so massive, but he has been really mindful of his approach ever since then, ever since he suffered from that digestion problem. So hopefully this time he can bring a better combination of size and fullness with his new coach Stefan. And what are your expectations from Brett in 2025? A top 10 Olympia finish, or maybe something even higher than that? Do let me know what you guys think. Guys, Gorilla Wear is offering a massive discount of up to 70% right now. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount. Next up, we have the physique update from Charles Girffen. So the pursuit to get his chest back to where it was before that packed year happened, that continues, and things are slowly and steadily moving in the right direction. So this is most probably gonna be the final time when Charles is aiming for a win, as well as an Olympia qualification as he wants to make it the most impactful one before he hangs up the posing trunks. So over the years, Charles has been able to make one of the most impressive transformations, especially the way his midsection looked back in 2018 when he made his Olympia debut compared to a few of his last showings. I mean, the man was able to fight off his genetics because he has been one of those guys where a vacuum has dramatically improved his front shots. Now Charles is gonna be back on the stage sometime later this year, and you can never sleep on a guy who is always peeled to the bone every single time he steps on stage. He has that crazy back, great arms, massive quads. The only reason Charles did not place higher than top 10 at the Olympia level was that he just did not have that wow factor. He isn't wide enough. He doesn't take up a lot of space on the stage. Although if we speak purely from conditioning perspective, the man beats most of these guys who have always placed ahead of him. So for those of you guys who do not know, he's also one of the former clients of Matt Jensen. So he's gonna be announcing his new coach as he picks a show for his comeback this year. So Charles also took the whole year off last year in order to rebuild a totally new physique, especially his chest, for this upcoming 2025 season. Next up, we have an update from Carlos Thomas Jr., who seems extremely confident and blessed to be competing in his first ever Arnold. And the thing that stood out the most from Carlos is his confidence. Time and time again, he has talked about his very own high expectations for this upcoming Arnold and how pumped the man feels about getting this comparison with the former Miss Olympia Derek Lunsford. Now the question is, will the judges even give him a chance? We are gonna find out soon enough.
You know, we're gonna go hard, we're gonna go heavy, and we're gonna turn some heads and serve some notice for sure. I believe that, and I appreciate you guys for believing me as well.
Carlos still pushing some great numbers in the gym, and unlike all of his previous preps, where he had problems during those final few weeks and even dropped out of shows because of that chronic condition, ulcerative colitis. But here you find him very relaxed, because this time he is 100% trusting all the calls that his current coach, Patrick Tuor, has been making throughout this prep. Now Carlos, I think we can all agree, is a genetic freak, just like Keon Pearson. And we also saw how Keon's career totally turned around after he started working with Patrick Tuor. Now the Texas Pro back in 2023, that wasn't the best look for Carlos, and he still placed top 3. And we are expecting that Carlos is gonna be miles better, and that too in every aspect. More size, way better conditioning, and a very improved back as well. So some of you guys might have came to know about Fabrico, that trainer from Brazil, after Derek shot some videos with him. But Goodvito, whom I believe can be the breakout star of 2025, he was training with him for all those years, especially last year, while he was prepping to make his pro debut. So all those comments about him looking very good on Instagram, that faded really quickly when Vito stood next to Rafael Brandel and Tonio Burton in Brazil. He was more shredded than both these guys, and even the judges admit that. And the man looked even better in Detroit Pro against Martin-Fitzwater. So Goodvito has been so focused on this prep for this upcoming Arnold Brazil. And if you wanna know how high his ceiling can be in the future, just look how close it was between him and Martin after Detroit Pro prejudging. And we all expect to see a whole new animal this time around, because the man got so massive during this past offseason, and I sincerely hope all that translates on the stage. Now Goodvito has some powerful shots, like the front double biceps and the hand collapsed most muscular. He has that great muscle quality, impressive skin texture. So who else believes that we are gonna see Goodvito on the Olympia stage this year, possibly as high as top 10 or something even higher than that? Tonio Burton is well on his way to make a great comeback at this upcoming Legion Sports. Now he has already been one of the best in the world, top 8 at the Olympia back in 2023, beating guys like Regan Grimes, Hassan Mustafa, and Charles Girffen. And all these guys are way bigger than him. So that signifies all those genetic gifts that Tonio Burton has. And the only thing that has been missing from Tonio was that he never really had a proper off-season after switching over from the 212 to the Men's Open Plus to solely focus on getting bigger, putting on some mass. And with him sitting out of the Olympia last year, despite qualifying, he's aiming for big things in 2025. So the man says his aim is top 6 at the Olympia this year. But the question is, whom does he beat to place that high at the Olympia? looks kind of unrealistic because those guys in the top 6, they are all very big with impressive shapes. But Tonio Burton is also as close as it gets to the Blade Dexter Jackson. And Dexter, we all know, continued to beat all these big guys throughout his career. And the man even won an Olympia title. So the Legion Sports is gonna be Tonio's first show of the year as per his plan. And possibly the only show before the Olympia this year. So the plan is to win that show and focus on getting even better for the big show later this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.